Well, today I did 2 brick wing walls, piers on both sides of the steps. The steps are a different video, but I'm going to show you how I did it. Well, today I'm going to do some work here, and I'm going to rip these cheek walls down. This is brick, this is limestone. Over in here, I guess they're going to put limestone threads and brick, but I brought with me a story pole. Anytime you're going to do restoration work, you put a story pole on. There's my limestone, and I marked all my bricks go. Forget about rulers, restoration work, story poles. So we're back here. I redid the steps. See, I put new steps in, the brick steps. Now I got to put the pier here. The owner ripped the pier out of here, and a pier here because he ripped the pier out of here. And we're going to use new brick. We're going to use the old cap. That's it, upside down, and I laid my brick out so I know how that's going to end up. And I go over here and I have my story pole. Now if you watch my videos on China and everything, this is the way the brick goes, just like this. See, I got everything figured out. Usually they lay them out dry. The new schoolers don't do that. New schoolers use a tool, and this tool, we're running this brick on number 5, so that'll be 5, 5, 5. But the old timers would never do that. The old timers lay everything out dry, the whole building. When I first started doing brickwork, the old timers made me go around the whole building and lay the whole building out dry. That's how they know if it's going to be right or wrong. So I put some wire down here. The footer's already there. I washed it off. I put a little wire in here. I didn't have to, but it's not going to hurt. It'll hold the bottom together. I'm going to start right here, and this will be my first brick. Now it has to match. Where is it? The other side. It has to match the bottom right there. Then my next brick will go up to there, you see? So I'm going to go just a little bit higher with it, like that. So that, right there, is my first brick. And my second brick is going to go this way, like this. See? Brick number 2 goes that way. So I got my little level here. Make sure they're level. This way. Nope, got to come up a little bit, like that. This way, if you can see that. Okay, got my first 2 brick laid. Now in the back, no one's going to see that. So, I'm going to be using some junk brick. Brick that's no good. I'm going to put it in here. And go that way with it. Just like that. Okay, you get the picture? My goal is, I got my first course in. See that? It's all ready to go. I know where this is all going to end up at the end when I put it in. I'm just checking to make sure everything is okay. This one's a little low. I made the cement a little stiffer. Okay. So there, I got my base in. And I'm good. Now I'm going to go to the other side, get the base in. Tradition has it, if I start with a full brick on that side, I start with a full brick on this side. So everything matches. If you're ever doing a fireplace, if you're ever doing anything complicated, stonework, you always try to match your corners and your openings. So okay, got my bottom in here, and I got my bottom in here. Now I could start going up. Let's look what's going on. I have my story pole. I come over here to this side, and I'm about a ½ inch above. I know it's far away, but the other side's different. So when I get to the other side, I'm going to have to raise my brick up a little bit to make up for that. So let's look at the other side. Look at this side. Over here, I'm almost even. So that side of the porch is higher than this side of the porch. So I'm going to use the story pole over there to reach my height. And when I get on this side, I'm going to raise my story pole so I gain a ½ inch or a ¼ inch, whatever it is. So I'm continuing with my brick. I'm going to tell you a little bit about brickwork and the cement I'm using. I am using S mortar, which contains Portland. And it's actually harder to use than the other types of cement. But if I use lime mortar, this would fall apart in less than a couple years because my area is not good for lime mortar. I know I get a lot of flack on that, but that's the truth. And then we just get our level here to level there and go between them, and that's it. Ain't no big deal. The whole thing with brickwork is you just have to watch your measurements and think way ahead, because you don't want to make no mistakes. Now, depending on what type of brick you use, see, they got holes in them. So right above the hole, it's pretty easy to do that. You don't need a saw or anything for that. It goes right in. Now in the back where no one sees it, I'm using some old junk brick. Why use an old junk brick? Well, I know we got enough to do this job. And there's no worries about that. But in the brick world, what'll happen is they'll stop making this kind of brick. And if the owner ever wants to match it, he won't be able to get the brick no more. So that's a chipped one. So, what I like to do is save those brick. And if you ever had to fix a step or something happened, a car hit it, you don't have to go around looking for brick when they have some left. If that makes sense. Okay, so let's see how we're doing. See our mark? Mark, mark, mark. So we're doing good. We're going to keep on going on here. Keep on going on to our marks. Let's check it just to make sure. See? Right on that mark. Then we can go this way. And this way. I only got to go so many courses, otherwise I'd drop lines. There we go. And we're continuing on. They said no rain today, but God said different. It's been raining for the last 20 minutes. You're going to ask me, Mike, how do you know when to do this? Well, first of all, I always try to keep my brick dry. I don't like laying wet brick. So these bricks soak the water up pretty quick, so I could get at it quick. Now, if it's a cold day and it's wet out, well, that's a whole different world. So I'm continuing on, getting there, no big deal. No one's going to be giving me any trophies, but I'm getting it done. When you're doing brick, sometimes one brick will be in a little bit. You got to watch the way you tip a brick. Sometimes you gotta cheat a little bit to make it work. Well, here's what's going on. The bond changed here, so I had to cut this brick right here. I can't get back in there too much. So I'm gonna lay the brick, check it with my level. So as I lay these out dry, I'm going to find out, this is old school now, I'm showing you old school, because back in the old days there was no saws. So you had to make everything fit. See, I'm short there. So what do? I got to cheat a little bit. See that? I want to, you got to take a joint off this one. And take a joint off this one. And now my brick will fit. Now I'm getting to my last course on the brickwork. Before I forget, people ask me, why do they have holes in the brick? The only thing that does is it's easier to ship and it's cheaper to produce. It has nothing to do with making things stronger. So there's my mark. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right on my mark, that's where I want to be for my height. When I get over the other side, I might have to change it a little bit, because that. Here's my level. Right on. When I check these, sometimes you gotta check it this way. See, that brick is out of square a little bit. See, I don't know if you can see it. That brick's a little bit out of square. So we're not going to use that one there. We'll use this one. I can tell that's better already. See? That one's a little bit more square. So I know I'm good that way. I know I'm good this way. And you can measure it this way if you want. And this way. Oh. Okay, last course. I'm just filling the holes up because I'm going to put that piece of limestone on top. And this will help to keep it from loosening up. Then we get it jointed up pretty good. Get a soft brush. Brush all the things off of it. Looking pretty good to me. Well, so far I got my 2 piers up right here. And they're same height to the porch there. Same height to the porch there. They're not level because if they're perfectly level, the porch is off. So I got to go a little higher in here and a little higher in there, and you kind of fake it. And you don't have to fill this. When you're doing brickwork like this and you're getting to the top and you're filling it, it might bulge the brick out. So if you're going to fill it, you can wait till the end, but there's no need to fill it in this case. I got my stones on. So this whole video, I'm just using regular mason sand, and I'm using type S mortar mix. So for this whole job, I'm just using 2 parts sand, 1 part cement. That's it. Usually mix it in a wheelbarrow, but for the end of the job, I'm just pointing up like that. And I just mix it up like that. No big deal. You don't want to make it too stiff. You just want to make it so it's not sloppy. Something like that. Now, that's pretty good. Tucking it up. Trying to do it where we don't mess the brick up. I'm going to talk about that job a little bit. The old timers would do everything with a story pole and lines. They'd drop their plumb lines and they'd use a story pole. They didn't have the modular rules or the brick rules in those days. And when I was a kid, they wouldn't let me use one. You had to go around that whole building and you had to lay those bricks out all dry, and then they look and they see where their windows were, and they do all their stuff like that. Lay it out dry, and they'd make patterns, and you can't make a mistake. I did a video, it's called The Great Wall and the Brick Masons of China. And if you watch that video, they used story poles and lines. You never seen them laying stuff out with rulers. Now if you're a union mason, which I worked with the union, yeah, and you do it every day, it's different. You could kind of see it, and if you're running a straight wall, but if you're doing a whole building like an old church, you lay it out dry. I have a whole series called Bricklaying, and I show you where I did that around the building. Now back in about 4 years ago, I went on tour because I play guitar, banjo, fiddle with a band called the New World Ensemble. We went over to China and we played on the Great Wall of China. And while we had a little break, I just took the camera and I stood over there and I played my hit song, You Done Tore My Heart Out, and stomped that sucker flat. And some people asked me about my old music career, so I'll just kind of let that roll. Thanks for watching. I'm Mike Haduck. I'll see you next video. You done tore my heart out and stomped that sucker flat. You know I love you, darling. You know I love you so much. Down another end. Thank you.